Aloha, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another week of Trauma Recovery University. I'm your host, Athena Moberg, and in the green room with me is my amazing co-host, Bobby Parrish. And we love to talk to adult survivors of child abuse, specifically childhood sexual abuse. So if that's what you tuned in for, and that is you, you are on the right channel. Tonight's topic is rebuilding trust as an adult survivor of child abuse, rebuilding trust in recovery from abuse. How do we rebuild trust when our trust is so broken and we have lack of intuition? We don't know how to trust our gut feeling. We're not really ever sure. Is this right? Is that right? Should I trust this person? Should I not trust this person? Navigating the waters of relationships, specifically new relationships, or even any type of relationship in our adult life when we're recovering from childhood abuse can be very, very confusing and triggering. So we're going to unpack all of that tonight. We're going to have a very open discussion. This is a live interactive broadcast. So if you're tuning in on a podcast platform such as iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, or even iHeartRadio, we invite you to join us on Twitter and tweet out the hashtag No More Shame. This is a live Q&A broadcast every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we monitor the hashtag No More Shame. And so if you have a question for us, you would just like to pop in and say hi, please feel free to do so. And you can view any of the recorded episodes of Trauma Recovery University, which we have over a year. There's 55 something videos over on our YouTube channel, as well as our Roku TV channel. And you can find that by going to YouTube and searching for Trauma Recovery University, or you can even just type in youtube.com/Trauma Recovery University TV. If you have a Roku device or a Roku television, you can simply just type in TRA, and I believe we're the first one that comes up. Thank you so much, by the way, all of our Roku viewers. If you haven't left a review yet of our channel, could you please do that? We have almost all 5-star reviews on Roku, and we're so, so grateful. If this video is helpful for you, please hit the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave us some comments below. We love to interact with you and hear from you. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to my amazing partner, Bobby Parrish. She's going to talk to us about trigger warning. We're going to issue a trigger warning for this chat, who you can reach out to, and an update on our annual anthology, as well as submissions for our 2016 anthology, and any other fun things that are coming up. So take it away, Bobby.
Hi, guys. It's so great to be here, and I'm so honored that you would spend an hour of your week with us. So let's talk about kind of some housekeeping items. First and foremost, November is coming up, and if you've been with us for a while, you know we have coined the phrase No More Shame November. And that's the month where we do a lot of advocacy work and try to raise awareness as well for survivors of childhood abuse. So we hope that you'll join us. Athena has made a wonderful graphic blog button or avatar, and you can go ahead over to our page, nomoreshameproject.com, and where it says Pinnables, it's right there. And you can just snatch it and put it either on your Twitter avatar, your Facebook avatar, or as a button on your blog. And we really appreciate that because we are trying throughout the month of November to share advocacy and awareness of what survivors of childhood abuse go through. Coming out this November, we also have our anthology. We self-published our first one last November, and it should actually be republished right about this November by Book Trope, our new publisher, and they are also publishing the No More Shame Project Volume 2, Discovering Together anthology. And so both of those should hit the shelves this November in honor of No More Shame November. If you would like to submit an essay or a poem for our 2016 anthology, go over to the nomoreshameproject.com website and click on the tab that says book. and it will give you all of the information on how to submit. We already have people submitting, and we're so excited about that because we love to share your stories of hope and healing and experience and recovery, not only so that people who have not been abused can know what we have all gone through, but so that other survivors who are out there and they have not yet talked about their abuse or shared their story, they can read ours and hopefully gain some courage from that and know that they aren't alone. So we're so excited about the anthologies, and we hope that you will, if you're interested, go over and click on that book tab to submit, or you will watch our Twitter feed and our email newsletters for information about when the books come out and what the publication date is in November. If you haven't yet signed up for our email newsletter, go over to nomoreshameproject.com and pop your email and your name in the box and submit that for us. We won't spam you, we promise. And actually, we don't really send out that many email. Just ones to keep you update on all the awesomeness. So we'd appreciate it if you'd do that, and it will give us a way to connect with you. We have 3 Twitter chats a week. This is one, our video Twitter chat, and then we have one on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and that's primarily set up for our UK contingency, and that's 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time in the UK. And then we have this one, which is both a video and a Twitter chat. And then we have Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So we hope that you will join us for any or all of those. There's information on our website about when they are. And we also have secret Facebook groups for both survivors of childhood abuse and survivors of narcissistic abuse. If you would like to join one of those, friend us on Facebook, either myself or Athena, and then send us a private message, and we will get you sorted out. I also want to let everyone know that I started a new group coaching program, and if you want information about it, you can go to my website, bobbyparish.com. And it was in an effort to provide survivors with affordable and frequent support. And for $34 a month, you can have access to all 16 online groups that are held throughout the week. And you can just drop in and get the support and the education and the love that you need anytime you need it. So I hope that if you're interested, you'll check that out. If you have any questions, you can reach me at bobbylparish@gmail.com. And I think that's about it. Athena, did I forget anything?
I don't think so. I think you remembered way more stuff than I remembered.
Oh, wait. Trigger warning.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Reach out to our friends over at rainn.org, and that's RAINN.org. Or you can also reach them in the United States by dialing 1-800-656-HOPE, which
Yes.
I always forget the numbers for. And HOPE, 1-800-656-HOPE is, I have it right here. I need to put a Post-it note like up on my laptop or something so that I can always just remember it, Bobby. HOPE is 4673. So 1-800-656-4673, or they have an amazing chat feature on their website where you log on and it's right there on their homepage, and then you're instantly in a waiting room, and then someone gets to you right away, especially if you're triggered or if you're in crisis. So please don't hesitate to reach out to our dear friends over at RAINN and practice excellent self-care. These chats can be very, very triggering, especially if you're tweeting live and watching for some reason the stimulus of typing something and then having us talk about it, or there's some sort of weird thing that goes on. We've had several people tell us that they can watch the videos and they're fine, and they can tweet to us in a Twitter chat and they're fine, but the combination of both for some reason is very, very overwhelming for them and triggering. So if that is the case with you, it's okay. no worries. You don't have to worry about interacting. You don't have to worry about anything. We are just here as a resource to you. You are the reason we show up every single week. And we just want you to know that we're grateful for each and every one of you. And there's no worries. You don't have to participate or anything. We're just going to keep showing up whether you're here or not. So our audience is growing and it is quite exciting. I wanted to remind everyone also that if you haven't signed up to view the live summit, it was a 4-hour and 45-minute, almost 5-hour summit. It was a live virtual summit that Bobby and I did on specifically narcissistic abuse. If that topic interests you at all, please go over to the website called NARC Diaries, NARC Diaries, DIARIES.com. Just take a peek around, ask some anonymous questions, or sign up for a newsletter, or let us know if you're interested in receiving a discount on the book when it's published. I just met with Bree here at my house. I cooked dinner for her and her daughter. She flew from California, and we're really excited about the narcissistic abuse community and how our childhood sexual abuse community, adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse and adult survivors of narcissistic abuse, the companies, the communities, excuse me, not companies, the communities, the company that we keep with both communities we're so closely related. We overlap in so many different ways. Many people that are in narcissistic abusive relationships as adults come from relationships with their parents that were narcissistic or abusive childhoods in one way or another, and they don't even put the pieces together, and they're not even sure. They're just sort of spinning and going, why? What did I do? What did I do? Why do I deserve this? Why do I keep meeting the same person or having these same relationships that end up abusive? I don't understand. And then as soon as they put the childhood component in place and they go, oh, wait a second, that is what I learned. Okay, then like this light bulb comes on and they stop shaming themselves. And then they get invited into a community filled with other people also that, you know, you are beautifuls, are rock stars that are recovering from child abuse. And so we can all support each other in so many amazing ways. And we're just honored that we get to be a part of all of this. So if narcissistic abuse rings a bell for you, or if you found yourself Googling that, or you're wondering if you're in a relationship with an abusive narcissist, someone who could have narcissistic tendencies, not necessarily a personality disorder, but you just want to know more about it, then definitely head on over to narcdiaries.com, or you can find Bree Bonshay's Toxic Relationship Forum or the NARC Diaries Forum on Facebook at facebook.com/narcopath or facebook.com/NARC Diaries. And if you're interested in a private secret group, then please don't hesitate to send us a private message and we'll get you plugged into a safe support community right away, because healing happens in community. So that should do it for our public service announcements and our welcomes. I've been tweeting back and forth with some people. I just want to welcome, if this is your very first time and you're not familiar with our channel, we have a live Q&A, and we're very open with our personalities. If we're having a hard week, you guys will know about it. If we're having a great day and we're celebrating, then you guys will know about it. And Bobby and I are just really blessed and excited to be a part of your recovery journey and to have you all be a part of our recovery journey. This is our community right here. You're looking at it. So, Bobby, today's topic of rebuilding trust was, it was really wonderful to see everyone really just gather in and share some tips and strategies that they use that help them figure out how to navigate, how to trust. And it was really neat to see light bulb moments going off and just the support that was happening during our Twitter chat this morning and for our UK community.
Yeah, it was very interesting and yet kind of heartbreaking to see so many people identify with the concept of having lost trust because of what happened in their childhood, which makes perfect sense. I mean, here you are as a child, and you're supposed to be dependent on your caregivers. And remember that 94% of children who are sexually assaulted knew their abuser. So they were either one of their family members, or they were a babysitter, or a teacher or a coach or a clergy member. Those are all relationships where a child is supposed to be able to depend on that person to protect them. You're supposed to be able to trust those people. As a child, of course you should. And then that person violates your trust in a terrible way. And you don't just snap back from that. Your child's capacity to trust is broken. And if it happened within your family, with one of your primary caretakers or a sibling, then the trust is even more damaged, because within your family core is where you're supposed to be protected the most. So that damaged trust usually does not get healed during our childhood unless we get good counseling and care, which unfortunately for many of us was not the case because our family did not support us, or our family protected our abuser rather than helping us. So we didn't get the help that we needed as children, so we take that broken trust into our adulthood. You know, and when you think about it, every relationship requires some amount of trust, whether it's a relationship with your mailman, you know, you trust him to bring the mail, or it's a kind of trust that you would have with your spouse, which would be, you know, a deep sense of trust, hopefully that all of us have with our spouse or our partner, because we deserve that. And so there's not a relationship out there, even if it's just a brief, you know, relationship. You go to the bank, you have a brief interaction with the teller that takes your money. You're trusting that she's doing her job so that your money is handled accurately. It's just, I don't think you can turn hardly anywhere without butting up against the issue of trust. And so here we are as adults. Our trust is broken, and we're trying to navigate our way in the world. And it's just hard. It becomes something that kind of lays around and undoes many relationships, because we can't trust enough to be fully engaged in those relationships. This morning, people talked about how they didn't have friends because they couldn't trust people not to hurt them. Or whenever someone is kind to them, they're suspicious because they don't know if that means they're trying to manipulate us. Are they grooming us to set us up to be hurt? Why are they being kind to us? That's the kind of damage that childhood abuse does. That natural capacity that we have when someone does something kind to us, and we just say, hey, thanks, that's great. It's gone. And the thing, as survivors, sometimes we tend to exist in extremes. And that makes sense. I can remember Lene Butler, who's a marriage and family therapist who used to be a part of our Twitter chats. She said that makes sense because child abuse is an extreme, which of course is true. But we tend to exist in extremes. And if you don't have any trust, then you're paranoid. And that means you're suspicious of any and everything. You trust no one, no thing. If you have too much trust, it means you let anyone in, and then you're subject to be victimized and re-victimized. That's how some of us get into abusive relationships, because we give trust to people who we should not. You know, but another thing that we don't do is trust ourselves. And learning to trust ourselves is an integral part of recovery, because we have to reestablish that bond that we ourselves are safe people. One of the things that I hear from survivors so often is that they don't feel safe as adults, that all these horrible things happened to them when they were children, and then maybe they went into relationships as an adult that were abusive. And so now they don't even know how to trust themselves, trust the fact that they would choose wisely when entering into a relationship. And that can so much be an issue. And we have to learn how to heal our trust with ourselves. Part of that sometimes is rebuilding our intuition. because when we were children and we intuited that something was wrong with this relationship, surely our brother, our father, our grandfather, our grandmother, our coach should not be treating this way. And that when we tried to report it, we were told, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Or when we tried to tell the person who was abusing us, no, this isn't right. I don't think this is right. And they said, yeah, it is. This is good. This is how fathers love their daughters. This is how mothers love their sons. This is how mothers love their daughters. And so our intuition gets damaged. But as an adult, we really need our intuition in order to figure out who's trustworthy and who's not. And so rebuilding that intuition is another important part of recovery. Because when we have that intuition, we're better able to determine, just by instinctive gut response, it's going to tell us, who's okay and who's not okay. And we need to learn how to have that again, and then how to trust that and know that we will be able to keep ourselves safe. We are trustworthy. So let's go ahead and look at the one page. And while I'm pulling that up, Athena, does anybody have any questions or comments?
Well, I want to welcome Glenn because he's joining us for the very first time. Aloha, Glenn. I'm in Hawaii.
Hi,
And Bobby's in Texas, and I'm in Hawaii. We're so happy to have you. And the lawyer nerd is here, and she was wondering if it was okay or if this is the night that we do the podcast and Twitter chat. And yes, the answer is yes, you're in the right place. You're right on time. You're not late at all. Simi's here. Yellow Nero's here. There's a lot going on here. Jack's here.
I think Elizabeth. I saw Sarah.
Sarah. Hi, Sarah. We love you, sweet Sarah. We have a lot of people that are tuning in here live, and we would love for you guys to tune in with us live sometime on one of our future weeks. I know that coming up in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about emotional regulation, and we're also going to be talking about gaslighting as well, which is huge, huge, huge. And gaslighting, I want to say this before Bobby goes to present all, because this is huge. This is a key point, okay, guys? Gaslighting, if you are not familiar with the term, it is one of the abusers / predators' main tools in their tool belt. And they use this to damage your intuition. And it does irreparable, permanent damage to your intuition only until you realize that the damage has been done. Then, once you realize what gaslighting is and what part it played in your abuse and the subsequent after effects to your child abuse or the abuse that you incurred, whether it was recent or previous from years ago, once you have the heads up and you know that that's the tool they use, kind of like if you're walking around with a hammer, everything you see is a nail. The moment you know what gaslighting is, you're going to go, oh, and you got to start writing it all down. You know what? It was this. No, it was this. It was this, this. And all of a sudden, it's almost like gaslighting for me personally, and I can only speak for my own recovery. Gaslighting and figuring out what it was and the part that it played in my abuse, you guys, it helped me. It was what made all the dots connect. And I was really more self-aware, and I was able to trust myself more once I knew what part of me was gaslit and what part of me was just functioning and trying to figure everything out. It almost just put the picture into focus for me. So we're going to talk about that in the coming weeks, as well as emotional regulation. And I know that we do have several of you tuning in live. So if you would like to receive tonight's one-page downloadable resource, we just want to say thank you for being one of our loyal viewers, listeners, subscribers, or just an awesome survivor. And you can get this complimentary one-page downloadable resource by going to traumarecoveryuniversity.com / you just click on the tab that says downloadables. And if you're viewing tonight, that website is under construction, and so you're going to go to nomoreshameproject.com, and click on downloadables. And if you page all the way down to the bottom, if you're viewing this or listening to this in the month of September of 2015, and just look for the one that says Rebuilding Trust in Recovery, one page. And that's just our gift to you. You'll be given immediate access to that complimentary downloadable resource, and you can view our library of resources as well. And we put these out every single week as a resource to the abuse survivor community. So I just wanted to give a little, like a snapshot into the future a little bit, Bobby, before we went into our one page.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. Gaslighting is critical for us to know and understand, because not just because it came from our childhood, but because many of us have it ongoing in our lives.
Oh, we do. I had it. You guys, I have to tell you this. I don't know if you can see me, but I need to tell you this, okay? Don't be hard on yourself if you find out what gaslighting is and you're like, oh my gosh, I got gaslit today. This is still happening in my life, because there's an anger that rises up when I figure out that that's what was going on. And I was being gaslit all the way up until a year ago. And you want to know something? When my dad was in the hospital before he passed away this past February, I was being gaslit by family members while I was in the hospital. So, and that was less than a year ago. That was only March, April, May, June, July. That was just like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, you guys. So it's okay if you realize that you're still being gaslit. It doesn't mean that you're not going to recover. It doesn't mean that you erased all of the progress that you've made. It doesn't mean anything. All it means is now you're aware. Once you know and you have knowledge of, how does Richard Grannon, the Spartan life coach, say it, Bobby? If you can name the beast, you can tame the beast. Or
that's right.
Yeah. Yep. So once you realize the role that gaslighting plays in your trauma and the toll it takes on your intuition and your inability to know truth from like reality from like fantasy or something, I mean, a lot of I can't go into it right now. We're going to go into it in about 2 weeks, so that's going to be a really important episode. Well, all of them are really important, but that's going to be really, really key. I feel like that's going to be a really busy one. So stay tuned for that. And tonight's one page is jam-packed full of awesome stuff. And then once we're completed with tonight's one page and we're done going through the list, I have some bonus strategies, just real quick tips that I mentioned in the Twitter chat this morning to help you know how to know if you're a safe person or if the people you're involved in are safe people, so that you can move forward and learn to trust yourself and trust others. I have a real quick list for you guys. So let's go into our one page with Bobby, and then I'll be monitoring our hashtag right now. No more shame, if you guys wanted to tweet out some questions.
Yes, and I want to say hello to Megan. She's joining us for the first time live.
Megan, I thought you were here last week. I'm so sorry I didn't welcome you. Love you, Megan.
Okay, so 94% again of children who are sexually assaulted knew their abuser. And that's important that you know this for 2 reasons. One, so that you can understand that why so many things that are the fallout from this are harmful to relationships, because that happened in a relationship with someone that you should know should protect you. That's why we suffer with so many after effects of child abuse, because it's not just the abuse, it's the emotion that went with it. It's the collateral damage, as they would say, and trust is one piece of that collateral damage. But another reason why we keep bringing this up, and I know Athena and I spout this statistic a lot, but it's important for us to dispel that myth of stranger danger, okay? A child abuser is not that weirdo sitting on a park bench trying to lure children into his van with puppies and candy. That does happen, but 94% of children knew their abuser. So we have to teach our children how to protect themselves against people they know. Okay, So all of these relationships are one where a child would expect to be protected. So when a child's trust is taken advantage, it becomes very difficult for them to learn how to trust again. Trust is instinctual in a child. I think it's innate. Yet when it's broken, they don't get shown how to rebuild it. And trust is a complicated thing. It's not something that one just rebuilds in an hour-long session with a therapist. It takes time, and it's a very complex process for a child to manage on their own. And if we don't get the help that we need to when we're a child, that's why we carry that into adulthood. So where it complicates and hinders relationships of all kinds. And again, all healthy relationships involve some amount of trust, from our relationship with our banker to our relationship with our spouses and partners. Now, keep in mind that says all healthy relationships involve some amount of trust. If you are in a relationship where there is no trust, that is not a healthy relationship. Okay?
Yeah, beware.
Exactly. Red flags, guys, all over the place. If you do not trust the person with whom you are in a relationship, something is wrong. And you need to attend to that, whether that means ending the relationship, whether that means laying some boundaries and setting up some ways to rebuild trust, whatever that is, the lack of capacity to trust someone with whom you're in a relationship is not a good thing.
Hey, Bobby, I have a live question. Sarah wants to know how we can trust a therapist again if they have let us down. That is a great question for you to answer.
You know, it is. And we had that in chat this morning too. Someone was talking about how their therapist had let them down and they didn't think they would ever be able to find a therapist that they can trust. And I think
Jack says he doesn't. He tries to get a new therapist ASAP.
Yeah, you know, I think
you got to trust your gut. Trust your gut.
do.
If you don't trust something, it is not you. It is not your fault. It is something that they've done that has pinged you. It reminds you of something. Trust yourself.
Right. So, you know, I think it depends on what they did. And if it was significant, then absolutely find another therapist.
Or at least have a healthy conversation, Bobby. That's what we were talking about regarding healthy conversation. Like,
right.
When you said or did blank, like letting them know, I need to have a conversation with you. I need to communicate a need to you. You're my therapist. When you said or did ABC 1, 2, 3, I felt unsafe. I felt triggered. I felt it exuded characteristics of, it was familiar to me. It exuded characteristics of someone who wasn't safe, or it's not something that I'm going to be able to be okay with if this is something that's part of your regular care treatment for me, because it triggered me and it caused me to feel a lack of trust. Those are difficult conversations to have, but they're absolutely necessary.
Yes, and I would absolutely promote that. But I think if it was a particularly egregious thing,
yes,
it's okay to shut down the relationship and just move on. And I guess I should define that. So if your therapist makes a pass at you, you don't have to have a conversation with them. You can just be done. You can just be done.
Techno, you're out of there.
So, or, you know, if it's just something like that. If it's something like they don't remember your name, or they can't remember the circumstances of your situation, and every time you have to retell your story.
Or if they minimize you. They minimize your abuse.
They minimize, they dismiss, they judge you. Those are not okay. And that is the time to say, hey, no. You know, and we forget that the medical model, at least here in the United States, is that the doctor, the therapist, the helping professional is king and we are subject. But the reality is you have hired this person to perform a service for you, to provide a service for you. It's the same as if you hired someone to fix your air conditioning system.
Or to come into your house and help you do something. Or if you went to a restaurant to pay for
Right.
something and the food came out and it was wrong or it was cold or it had a bug in it, then you would hopefully have the courage to say, "Excuse me, I didn't order this with a bug in it.
Exactly.
I would like
not.
I would like, something that doesn't have a bug in it, please." Yeah, it just takes courage to have these difficult conversations. That's why we said, later on down in the one page, we talk about it being a sign of maturity when you're able to have healthy communication. Bobby, we have one more live question.
Okay.
So Beth, by the way, Glenn is Beth's fiance. So
Yes.
They're watching as a couple. I'm so excited. Okay, so Beth wants to know if either of us have ever gotten to the point where we honestly don't even want to trust anyone anymore. You've just been hurt so many times. And my answer is yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But that's not a realistic view of how life can be lived. One cannot live a life in community with other people if we have zero trust, because we were born for community. We were born for relationship. We have a deep need to be in community with other people. So it doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be all trust or no trust. I have felt that way. And then I had to step back and ask myself, okay, what's the scary middle? If black is no trust and white is trusting everyone, what's the middle part that I normally am not hanging out in? And maybe I need to think about that. And then I reach out to my safe community, like Bobby and all the people in our coaching group, and I just put it out there. Hey, what would you guys do if this is how you were feeling?
Yeah. If you find yourself in that place, it's okay to take a step back and say something is going on that I don't feel I can trust people, and figure that out. So if you withdraw for a bit and reach out just to your safe community and figure out what's going on, work on that, and then step back up again and start trying to trust people again, start rebuilding that capacity. It's going to happen. I think, it's a normal part of life. Every human being, whether they are a survivor of childhood abuse or not, has someone break their trust, has someone damage their trust. It's just for us as survivors, it feels like more of a setback because it's one more breach of trust upon what feels like a huge pile of breaches of our trust. So by all means, take care of yourself, nurture yourself. Don't blame yourself.
Yeah, and practice in safe community. Find a safe community like the ones that Bobby and I offer online, and practice your skills. Practice asking questions. Practice saying, I woke up this morning and I felt this way. Is that a normal thought to have? Is that like a normal person thought, or is that a survivor thing? Like, is this a normal life thing, or is this a survivor thing? Does everybody think these thoughts, or is it just survivors of abuse? Like, sometimes we just really need to know that. We just need to ask those questions.
Right.
So being in community, I think, is the key, and it really helps with that not wanting to trust anyone ever again.
Absolutely. I can't agree that more. And Athena and I talk to you guys all the time about community, but it's just powerful. It's just powerful stuff. Powerful.
Hey, the lawyer nerd was really triggered by a new guy she met last week, and she almost didn't trust her gut, but then her dog hated him. Thanks, Freckles. Yeah, if your pets don't like someone and you already had a little inkling, you guys, babies and animals, they have like this weird sixth or seventh sense. And I'm not saying that it's always dead on, but if there's something not so right about somebody and you kind of think there might be something not so right about them, and then, your pets don't like them, your kids don't like them, your closest circle of friends doesn't like them. Yeah. It's time to start listening to that little gut feeling of yours.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. Okay, let's look about tips and strategies to remember while rebuilding our capacity to trust. And this first one is a biggie, and I don't think we are told this as human beings often enough. Trust is earned, okay? To me, it reminds me a little bit of respect. Everyone gets a basic amount of respect. That's just your human right. But everyone gets a, basic amount of trust. But more trust than that has to be earned. That person has to prove that they are trustworthy. So you don't have to just throw all your trust in front of someone and then wait to see how they're going to react. Give them a small amount. See how they react.
Yeah.
If they react well, give them another small amount.
It's like, how do you figure out if something is worth your time or worth your money? If you're researching, like, I'm going to purchase this thing and it costs this much money. Is it worth that much money? You sort of weigh it and you go, let's see if this is worth it. It's the same thing with anything, relationships especially. Is this going to be worth my time? Is this person worthy of my trust? Let's look at their lives, and then I'll go down a real quick list at the end of this broadcast for some things to keep in mind. So get your pen and paper ready to be writing down the list I give you, because it's not going to be up on the screen. And if you're driving, that's okay. Just listen to it again later.
That's right. hit the replay button later.
Yeah.
So number 2, use your intuition to guide where you can place your trust and where you should withhold it. And then we did a video about healing your intuition, months ago now. So look for that video on YouTube or on Roku TV, and I know we have a 1-page about it. So look for that on the website, under the downloadables tab.
I think it's titled Healing Your Intuition Through Congruence. I think that might be what it's called.
Okay. So watch for that. I love this next one. Guys, trusting someone doesn't mean that you drop all your boundaries. It's okay to keep your boundaries in place with some flexibility while someone is gaining your trust. Again, it's not appropriate to start a relationship with someone and throw all of our trust on the ground and throw open all of our boundaries. That's how we get re-victimized. So trust and boundaries are 2 different things, although trust is a part of setting boundaries. You only open your boundaries all the way to people that you completely, totally trust with your life. But just because we trust someone doesn't mean that we give them the keys to the kingdom of our body and our mind in order to, allow them complete and total access where we could be hurt, we could be re-victimized. Know that when someone violates your trust, that this speaks about their flaws and not yours. This is so important. We talked about it this morning in chat, and people were talking about how badly they feel when someone breaks their trust. And just what I want you guys to know is that when someone breaks your trust, it's not about you. It doesn't say something bad about you. It says something bad about them and their capacity to be trustworthy.
Yeah.
Now, like Athena said earlier when she was talking about, I think it's gaslighting. When you realize that you've been gaslit, don't be ashamed. When someone violates your trust, there's no need for you to be ashamed. There's no need for you to beat yourself up. It's not on you. It's on them. Rebuilding your capacity to trust takes time and practice. Take small steps and ask for feedback from your safe support group if you need it. Okay? Again, giving a little bit of trust at a time. And if they're treated well, then give them a little bit more. And then give them a little bit more. And you, as you go out in the world, start by giving some trust to the banker. to the bank teller. Give some trust to the deli man that he's going to slice the right food, price it the correct way, and give you the amount you ask for.
Or make your cup of coffee correctly.
Exactly.
We have some questions and comments coming in, Bobby. Is it a good
Okay.
time to mention?
Yes, hit me.
Well, Megan says she's terrified of trusting the world because it feels like if she trusts, then it really equals a higher risk of being re-victimized. And that is very true.
It is.
We are really telling you to practice caution in moving forward in that.
You know, I think that is a thought that I so recognize. And I understand that being terrified, because you're right. Your past experience has shown you that the world is a terrifying place.
Yeah.
And so in that respect, I would recommend a couple of things. I would recommend that if you have not already, that you join a support group of survivors so that you can practice trusting them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of the primary reasons that we love support groups, is because it gives us a chance to practice behaviors with safe people. So,
Yeah.
and then go ahead.
I have a couple. So the lawyer nerd feels like she gives trust blindly because she had to growing up to survive dysfunctional. And I would agree. Yes, I do that as well. And then Beth wants to know if there's a group, or Glenn wanted to know if there's a group for partners of child abuse survivors. And we don't have one yet set up.
But we would love to.
We've put it out there, and there aren't as many spouses and partners that are willing to, that are sort of interested in that area of focus. So we just usually refer them to the video because we don't have a group, because we don't have enough people. But
Right.
if the community continues to grow and more partners want a group to know how to support their survivors, then yeah, we're absolutely going to set it up. Most
Yes.
definitely. So
We will thumbtack your name to the wall, Glenn.
Definitely, Glenn.
I wanted to say one more thing to you, Megan, is that practice trusting people that really don't have the capacity to do you much harm. Okay? Practice, like I said, practice trusting the man at the deli. Practice trusting the coffee barista. Practice trusting people who really don't have that much of an ability to hurt you, to do you harm. And as you grow in your capacity to trust, it's a muscle. It's a muscle. It's like a muscle. As you practice it, you will get better at it. You will get better with your discernment. You will get better with your intuition.
We need to welcome Megan into one of our safe support groups. I honestly thought that she already was in. I believe she's in our coaching group.
Okay.
I thought she was. Megan, if you're not already in one of our coaching groups, one of our private secret support groups, a safe community, then please, please, please send us a message to nomoreshame@gmail.com and just ask to be welcomed in. You can be welcomed in and sort of look at the feed and look around. You don't have to immediately, engage in conversation, but it will help you. Caps, all big letters. The group
Yes.
will help you so much.
Here we go. We're going to talk about not beating yourself up, guys. And we talk about that with you guys frequently, and we're just going to keep doing it because as survivors, we're really good at beating ourselves up.
Yes,
so
we
don't
are.
beat yourself up if it takes a long time to trust again. There's no right or wrong timetable, just the one that's perfect for you. And if someone tells you there's a timetable that you should be following, big red flag. Big red flag. So Sarah, if you're still listening and you had your therapist tell you that you were not on the right timetable for anything, if that's something that was going on in terms of your therapist breaking your trust, that's a red flag. And that is definitely a breach of your trust.
It is. Big time. Hey, Stu stopped by.
Hi, Stu.
He wanted to say hi. Awesome. He says he's really looking forward to tomorrow night as well. So
yes.
Awesome.
And this last one is so important. It's not only under your power to give your trust, but it's your right to take some of it or all of it back at any time. It's yours to give and it's yours to take back. And you can take it back. Some people will fight with you over that, but it's your right. It's your trust. You can take it, you can give it. You are far more wise than you give yourself credit for. And that ties in with our pro tip for the one page. Reach out to your safe support circle and dialogue about healthy boundaries, safe people, and effective communication. These are signs of maturity and should be looked for in a new relationship. So Athena, I'm going to close this down so you can go through your list.
Hey, Glenn just offered to join. Yes, I'm going to do the list right now. Glenn just offered to join the support group for adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse partners. And he says that he'll help with screening and welcome everyone.
That'd be awesome, Glenn.
Oh my gosh,
we
you're
would
a
love
dream.
that.
Thank you. Wow. Yes, we need volunteers for stuff like this. We have you guys are amazing. You guys are the magic in this community. Bobby and I just show up and facilitate everything. So there are too many hey, baby girl's here. Hi, baby girl, love you. Aloha, Ohana. I just don't have enough. I can't address all of them. There's so many. You guys are awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go down my list now, okay? You guys got your pen and paper ready? I got my handy dandy red sheet. If you're in our private secret Facebook group, you already saw a video where I went down this list. So I'm just gonna boom, 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 go down this list really quick right now. So get your pen and paper ready and write this stuff down. This is how to know if you are a safe person practicing safe and healthy traits, or if a person that you meet or are involved in is a safe person or practicing safe and healthy traits. Ready? Boom. Number 1, unsafe people think they have it all together instead of admitting their weaknesses. Number 2, unsafe people are religious instead of spiritual. They beat you over the head with the Bible or start quoting scripture verses to you or try to stick a Jesus Band-Aid on you when you're hemorrhaging out of all orifices, but yet their own lives are kind of a mess, but they handy-dandy pull out a scripture and just sort of hand it to you and try to fix all your problems with their religiosity. Big time unsafe trait. Don't do that. Unsafe people are defensive instead of being open to feedback. Unsafe people are self-righteous instead of humble. Unsafe people only apologize instead of changing their behavior. That's a big one. Unsafe people avoid working on their problems instead of dealing with them. You're here watching this video, you're working on your stuff. So now start thinking about the other relationships. Are they working on their stuff, or are they stagnant? So unsafe people demand trust instead of earning it. Good for tonight's topic. Unsafe people believe they are perfect instead of admitting their faults. If you call somebody out on something and instead of them saying, oh, my bad, thanks for bringing that to my attention, I'll definitely address that. Or if they're like, oh, who are you to tell me? That's kind of a red flag, guys. Unsafe people believe they're perfect. I just did that one. Unsafe people blame others instead of taking responsibility. And Jack made a comment about accountability before as well. Yeah, unsafe people don't like to be held accountable for anything. They'll ask you, they'll say, oh yeah, hold me accountable to that, and then they'll get upset with you for calling them out on stuff. Unsafe people lie instead of telling the truth. And the last one, which I already alluded to, unsafe people are stagnant instead of growing. Again, if you're watching this video, you have a desire for personal growth. So just by osmosis, it's just like being here, watching these videos and being on our channel and being involved in our safe support groups, it means that you're moving towards being a very safe person making healthy choices. So yay! Hope that was helpful for you guys.
Should we put up our contact information?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm trying to think if I need to remind anybody of anything. Thanks for all of the feedback, you guys, and all of the live interaction tonight. You guys are amazing. And I really do want to say thank you to our people in the UK that tune in live at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And, I mean, oh my gosh, really, it's 2 a.m. So we're praying for you and hoping that you rest well and that you don't have nightmares and that you are resting well, because rest is super important. And that's one of our topics that we haven't gone over, Bobby.
Huh.
We haven't done a weekly topic on rest. And that is one that is huge because survivors need a little bit extra rest.
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's look at how to join our safe community. Okay, so you can connect with us on Twitter. As I mentioned earlier, we have 3 Twitter chats a week. The first is on Mondays. That is the one that was geared primarily towards our UK crowd, but anyone can attend. That is the hashtag CSAQT, which stands for Child Sexual Abuse Question Time. It starts at 10 a.m. on the Pacific Standard Time Zone, and then 6 p.m. in the UK. And then you're here with us now, which is our Monday night live video broadcast combined with a Twitter chat. And that is Monday evening at 6 p.m. and 2 o'clock on Tuesday mornings for all of our stalwart UK watchers. And then Tuesday evening is with the hashtag Sex Abuse Chat, our third and our final Twitter chat of the week. And that is at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, and 2 o'clock in the morning again for our UK peeps. You can watch us anytime on YouTube or Roku, and we'll talk about that again on the next one. Got ahead of myself. If you want to be in one of our secret private Facebook groups for survivors of childhood abuse or for our survivors of narcissistic abuse, please let us know. We would love to have you with us. Okay.
Yay.
Yay, stop. Now let's do the other one. Whoa, everything goes wonky.
Uh-oh.
Wonky, miss.
Wonky, wonky.
Okay, let's find this one.
Okay.
Yes, it's that highly technical term, wonky.
Absolutely. It's very techy. It's a technical term.
Okay. Here we go. The best ways to connect with us on email. And we try to reply within 24 to 48 hours. And we would just ask for your patience because it's just the 2 of us manning the inbox, and our cup runneth over sometimes. So BobbyLParish@gmail.com, Athena@AthenaMoberg.com, and then NoMoreShameProject@gmail.com. On Twitter, I'm Bobby L. Parish. I used to be Truth is Hers until Athena supported me, and I changed my Twitter handle.
Yes.
Because I trust her.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm trustworthy. I've earned your trust.
You have. In overflow. Athena is at Athena Moberg, and then Trauma Recovery University is Trauma Recovery U. And then over to the side, you'll see that you can find us on YouTube, on Roku TV, and on Google+, all as Trauma Recovery University. If you would like to interact with us on Facebook, we are at Trauma Recovery University, and then each of us have our business pages, Athena Moberg fan page, and then mine is Bobby Parish Coaching and Consulting. And then
I submitted something to Facebook asking them if I could change it to Athena Moberg Speaking.
Okay.
Since everything on my new website is Athena Moberg Speaking and whatever, but they haven't gotten back to me. I don't know. So I just changed it to the little name, but they didn't change my URL. So anyway, I'm working on it, guys.
Okay.
Working on it.
Watch that one for a change in progress. But we each have our personal pages. We would absolutely love to be friends with you. Please don't hesitate. I'm at Bobby Parish, and Athena is at Dawn Athena Moberg. And just send a friend request, and then send us a private message if you'd like to join one of our support groups. And there we go. Da 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 da.
Yay! Well, you guys, we are so grateful. I know we ran 2 minutes over on time today, but we just love coming here and hanging out with you guys live every week. Your live questions, again, if you are watching this video later on, or if this is your first time meeting us or coming to our channel, this is kind of how our Mondays go. You tweet in live, you ask questions, we answer questions. We have the 3 Twitter chats every single week. We love interacting with you. And again, it's just the 2 of us. So please be patient. We do try to respond to all emails within 48 hours. We're doing our best. So there was one that I didn't get back to for a whole week, and when I finally responded, his email address had been deleted. I feel so bad. Sorry, Daniel. If Daniel is watching ever again, I tried to respond. He was a spouse or a partner of an adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse and wanted to support the partner, and I didn't get back to him quick enough, and for some reason his email address won't work. So Daniel, email us again, please. And we'll get you plugged into this safe group that Glenn's going to be leading up. And Simi wants to be a member of the spouses group as well. She says she can help. So we love that you guys are volunteering and helping. We need the help. Thank you so much. Okay. Bobby, did I forget anything?
I can't think of anything. We'll be here again next week, same time, same place. And we'll be at both of the Twitter chats that are just on Twitter without the video feed. So
yeah,
connect with us.
Connect with us, definitely. We show up every week because you guys are the reason that we do everything that we do. So please just take a moment to reach out and connect with us on social media, or send us an email, or subscribe to our email list, which I think we've only ever sent like a couple emails ever, so we won't spam you. But I mean, we would love to see you back here every single week. So from Bobby Parrish and myself, Athena Moberg, we love being your source for healthy, informed trauma recovery, and we'll see you again next week. Aloha, everybody.